Good evening, everyone, and welcome to this edition of the Prime Time Newscast in the English language on Canal International. I'm called Morinzi. We begin with our top stories. Cameroonian comedian is no more. Blaise Calabar and 4 of his siblings lost their lives in a road accident in the early hours of July 14, 2023 in Bahrain, a small town in the Mongo division of the littoral region. And expelled from the CRM party yesterday, July 13, 2023, Michel Ndoki, president. This was during an exclusive exchange with the Director of Information of Canal International, Rodrigue Tongue. And the Cameroon textile company SICAM is reportedly sick. The company has been unable to process more than 2% of the country's cotton production on an insignificant rate, which a government decries. Those are major stories. Details right ahead. Good evening once more. Expelled from the Cameroon Renaissance movement after receiving news of her expulsion from the party by the party chair. This was during an exclusive exchange with the Director of Information of Canal International, Rodrigue Tongue. Our reporter Beatrice Ngamo has the rest of that story.
The decision of National Mediation and Arbitration Committee of the Cameroon Renaissance Party to expel Barrister Michel Ndoki, she says, portrays the state of the party today, characterized by plots after plots, exclusion, mass resignation to which party officials are quiet. There are no excuse, no explanation, and so repeated scandal.
L'argent que nos compatriotes donnent avec leur cœur pour soutenir l'effort de construction de cette formation politique est géré. L'obscurantisme, l'obscurité, en tout cas le manque de transparence avec lequel cet argent est géré. Tout ça, les militants du mouvement pour la renaissance du Cameroun l'ont avalé.
Receiving the news of her expulsion from the party yesterday, while in Côte d'Ivoire, Michel Ndoki told the Director of Information of Canal International, it is saddening for the party and those with vision for change and better politics in the name of democracy. Because if they had remained in the political line of the party, things should have been very clear for all. Her only regret is inability of party scribes to give her the opportunity to bring in the light in her. The prominent Cameroonian lawyer and politician, former vice president of the female wing of the Cameroon Renaissance Movement Party, speaks with no regret as she saw it coming.
And political analysts have described the exclusion of Michel Ndoki from the CRM party as anti-democratic and as a miscarriage of justice. Our reporter Saleh Sharifa has been talking with some political analysts in Cameroon's economic city, Douala. Will see the association will, in the long run, affect the party. Her story.
The news has been limping on air for some weeks now, and it came to pass that the exclusion of Michel Ndoki from the Cameroon Renaissance Movement is now effective. In a decision dated July 6, the disciplinary committee of the CRM pronounced the exclusion of the lawyer Michel Ndoki, one of the vice presidents of the party. She is accused of refusing to comply with the party rules. What she's being accused of is really serious because as an activist, whatever the case, there are party rules you ought to respect and there are principles as an activist you have to follow. Rather, she crossed the red line. According to some actors in the political scene, it is a blow for Michelle Ndoki, who during an interview on a TV program June 2022 had made known her intentions to stand for the presidency against the CRM president, Maurice Kamto. She is a strong woman and she is well established as a lawyer. And I really think that she will trigger the effects of law by seeking justice. And if she does that, it will tarnish the image of the CRM party. She joined the political party Cameroon Renaissance Movement in December 2016. Became the first national vice president of the CRM women and in charge of the party's activities in the Douala 1 constituency.
And the divisional officer for Yaoundé 6 has called on business men of Melanin firms to collaborate frankly and fish out of criminals hiding in his area of command. In a security meeting yesterday, they came up with new measures to curb rising insecurity in that locality. Mondo story with our reporter, Hysen Cha.
A crucial meeting behind closed doors between the economic operators of Melen Mini Firm and the divisional officer for Yaoundé 6 as both parties strive to eradicate the rising insecurity within the cosmopolitan area in Yaoundé. On the table, they reviewed the real problems plaguing the locality.
Non, pas vous cacher, Mini Firm c'est un coin qui est devenu dangereux.
There is nothing to hide. Mini Firm is becoming a very dangerous area with all the bad things. Prostitution, theft, and others. All this is giving a bad name to bar owners that we are. We are accused of nurturing this insecurity. And after hours of exchanges, the actors arrived on key measures, stating the time.
À la fin, nous nous sommes dit, on se donne 2 mois pour mettre l'éclairage là-bas devant chaque bar.
At the end, we agreed that each bar must put up front lights. Every bar must have 1 or 2 surveillance cameras. All these within the space of 2 months. People should equally have the courage to denounce all the bad agents in Mini Firm. We know them. After 2 months, we shall sit again to evaluate what is working and what is not working. It should be recalled that all bars, snack bars, inns, motels and game sports were sealed on June 29 by the divisional officer after the brutal killing of a uniformed officer in the area, but the leisure sports were later reopened 4 days after.
Another renowned Cameroonian comedian is no more. Blaise Calabar and 4 of his siblings lost their lives in a road accident in the early hours of July 14, 2023 in Barre, a small town in the Mongo division of the Littoral region. According to reports, he was returning from his uncle's funeral in the West region when he met the tragedy. His car collided with a bus, which resulted in a violent impact that claimed the lives of all those on board his vehicle. Blaise Calabar was known for his short comedy videos posted on his Facebook page. I will now take you to Bamenda in the northwest region of Cameroon, the upstation neighborhood in Bamenda, precisely chief town of the northwest region, regarded as the safest area in the entire region, has this Friday afternoon been rocked by some gunshots. Thereabouts 5 loud gunfire kept gendarmes, police, and other military personnel on a high alert. It finally turned out to be a manhunt for a detainee of the Bamenda Central Prison who attempted escaping from the secretariat of the Bamenda High Court, where he had been brought to begin judicial process for accusations of theft of a television set. Shockwaves ran down the spines of persons conducting official businesses in the courts, administration, and other services, given that most regional administrative services are planted at Up Station. The fugitive was later rearrested in this nearby plantation or plantain bush between the appeal court and the regional delegation of culture. We'll certainly come back to that in our subsequent editions of our newscasts. And the Sultan of Bamoun, Mohammed Nabil Fuem Mbombonjoya, is in Cameroon's economic city, Douala. It is his first official visit after his enthronement last October. He held talks with Littoral Governor, which was his first talk where they talked about building peace and reinforcing social cohesion. More in the following story. An ambience not familiar with these environments, but attracting everyone around here. Bamoun Origins resident in Douala welcome their traditional leader. We are at the Littoral Governor's office, where the Sultan of the Bamoun people is visiting the region and his people for the first time after his enthronement October 8th last year. Accompanied by notables and some elites of the area, exchanges centered mostly around building peace, living together, and upholding social cohesion. The governor is impressed.
The first visit to these regions, as far as his chieftaincy is functioning, and we are proud of seeing him coming here in Douala. So we are thanking him to come and make sure that his community is well in this part of region. They are respecting the other communities around and the other chiefs that are around, and he wants them to be ambassadors of peace within this littoral region, who is not a simple one.
From the governor's office, his next stop was at the Central Mosque No. 2 in the New Bell neighborhood, a neighborhood that harbors a good number of Bamoun people. At the mosque, prayers were said in honor of the king, the Bamouns, and the country at large. It is total communion with his people. His media people tour continues Saturday with a grand meeting with the Bamoun community in Douala at the Bepanda Omispo Stadium. Here he is expected to listen, exchange, and seek solutions to his people so they feel growth wherever they find themselves. The Cameroon textile company, SICAM, is reportedly sick. The company, which has been unable to process more than 2% of the country's cotton production, an insignificant rate which our government decries, the results of an audit which is expected to contribute in reviving the company, has been presented in Douala today. More on the story with our reporter, Gladys Ambu Tiba.
The Cameroon textile company SICAM is said to be in a very bad shape. The company has been unable to produce the expected results. Bad governance, financial difficulties, obsolete equipment that have slowed down work and consequently affected the company's revenue have been some of the challenges the structure has faced over the years. This has led the company to transform just about 2% of Cameroon's cotton production, that is about 327,000 tons, and that was in 2020, a processing rate which is said to be insignificant for one of Cameroon's industrial giants.
Today, as local production of cotton in our country, the local transformation, the rate is very low, and our intent to increase this rate from 2% to 50% since 2030. As objective strategy master plan.
As part of government's effort to consolidate existing industrial companies and the restructuring plan, the Ministry of Mines, Industries and Technological Development and other ministerial departments had handed the file to the Office for the Upgrade of Enterprises, BMN, which contracted an international audit firm. At this meeting in Douala, July 14, 2023, the audit firm is presenting the strengths and weaknesses of the textile company, possible solutions, elaborated action plan, and restructuring options.
Le bureau de mise à niveau a été mis en place justement.
The upgrading office is there to assist companies in difficulties, meet the expected standards and results. And for the case of SICAM, we cannot do that alone. We work with decision makers such as the Ministry of Mines, Industries and Technological Development in this case. The audit firm will tell us what the company is suffering from and prescribe possible solutions to the problems.
Pour relever ce grand malade.
The result of these audits will be forwarded to the Prime Ministry for possible implementation in order to revive the company.
Speakers and presiding officers from some 21 African and Commonwealth countries will be holding their 18th conference in Yaoundé. The come together will be under the theme African Parliaments and Agenda. More on the story with our reporter, Beatrice Ngamo.
Yaoundé, Cameroon will be hosting the 18th Conference of Speakers and Presiding Officers of Commonwealth Countries, Africa Region from Tuesday, July the 18th, 2023.
The conference provides the speakers and presiding officers of Parliament in the Commonwealth with the unique opportunity to gather together in a forum of their own, to exchange information and express their views on matters of common concern.
The speakers or presiding officers are members of Parliament who chair parliamentary proceedings, doing so above party concerns or lineage.
The conference therefore seeks to maintain, foster and encourage impartiality and fairness on the part of speakers and presiding officers.
The Yaoundé Rendezvous concerns some 21 countries from the African continent, holding under the theme African Parliament and Agenda 2063. The topics under discussion during the 3 days will include
the devastating impacts of climate change, a call for more parliamentary interventions, the role of African Parliament in the implementation of the African Continental Free Trade Area, addressing the challenges of food security in Africa by promoting investment in agriculture, securing public trust, the role of parliaments in strengthening openness, transparency and accountability.
Issues at the center of a briefing this Friday by the Deputy Speaker of Cameroon's National Assembly and Chairperson of the Organizing Committee of SPOC 2023, Mary Muyali Boya-Meboka. Cameroon, it should be noted, is taking the baton from Rwanda, the host of last November 2021.
Got deeply, so we live differently. One of the ways we can live differently is by understanding these battles. This was done during a book launch held in Douala. Saleh Sharifa was part of that book launch. Her story.
There is solution to a mind whose thoughts are hostile to God with the society's morals and attitudes. You don't have to stay trapped by thoughts and drag you down in despair. Through a 111-page book, My Spiritual Ammunitions, Level 2, the author trains people on spiritual life.
That adversity you will encounter along the road, that obstacle, that jealousy, that rejection, that humiliation, that name callings you will encounter along the road when you are walking on a project.
Alongside spirituality was a 375-page book, Reign on Earth, with coaching in entrepreneurship, self-confidence, awareness tips, and how to better in life was on the table. Developing your self-esteem and capacity on how to succeed in every domain if you value your skill. From now on, my self-confidence will be doubled. I understood that henceforth I must do everything with confidence, not rely on men, but rely on God. This activity was done during a book launch in Douala, July 13. Participants left with the knowledge to live in solidarity, no matter your race.
by Saleh Sharifa brings us to the end of this edition of the Prime Time Newscast in the English language and Canal International. Thanks so much for watching. But coming up next is The Brief with Mark Shamo. So we'll be back same time this time around on Monday. Good night.